The movie opens in the woods, where several dead bodies are seen on the ground. The scene then shifts to a grocery store, where a man named Lucas works while playing a game. He is interrupted when a customer arrives to pay for her purchase, after which she leaves. Lucas receives a message from his former lover, but he ignores and deletes it. On his way home on his bike, Lucas is approached by a van. A man wearing a yellow mask looks at him before driving away, leaving Lucas unsettled. When Lucas arrives home, he lies on the couch, looking troubled, and suddenly, there is a knock at the door. It turns out to be his former girlfriend, Chloe, and Lucas is not happy to see her. It is revealed that Lucas and Chloe were once in a dysfunctional relationship but have been apart for a year. Chloe tells Lucas about a game called Paranoia, which offers €1 million to the two players who finish it. Lucas shows no interest, saying he doesn't want to return to the days when they wasted time playing games, which ruined them. When Chloe insists that games were not what destroyed their relationship, Lucas becomes angry. However, the two begin kissing and eventually make out. Afterward, Chloe tells Lucas she read an article about two black swans that disappeared from the zoo in Manchester, which is the emblem of paranoia. She explains that she messaged the zoo and received a reply, which she suspects might be a code. Using Lucas's computer, they visit the homepage of Skipton City and find a black swan page that requires a special code to access. Chloe tries the code she received, but it doesn't work, and after several failed attempts, Lucas guesses the correct code, and they gain access to the page. Later, Lucas goes into his mother's room. She has passed away, and he speaks to her picture, telling her about going out with Chloe and asking for her forgiveness. That night, while driving to a rave party in Chloe's car, Lucas discovers a medical report about her, revealing she had once been admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Manchester, and he chooses not to ask her about it. They eventually find the location of the rave party and notice a swan logo. Inside, they discover that everyone is wearing animal masks, and soon, Lucas meets another player, Naomi, who is also there searching for the Paranoia location. Lucas and Chloe enter a room where they find an arcade machine inside an elevator. Lucas decides to play first but is quickly defeated, and when Chloe steps in to plays, she wins. Suddenly, a creepy clown face appears on the screen, warning them to hurry up. After gathering clues and solving puzzles, they are accepted into the game and follow GPS coordinates to an abandoned hospital, where the Paranoia game is set to take place. When they arrive, they are greeted by a nurse who leads them inside to the reception desk, where another nurse is waiting. The nurse takes them upstairs to a room where they meet other players who also qualified in the same way: Ray, Maxine, Jablonski, and Naomi. A mysterious voice suddenly welcomes them, explaining the rules of the game. They are about to play a massive escape room challenge, where each room requires solving puzzles to move to the next. Every time they succeed, they will receive a piece of a larger puzzle, and once completed, the puzzle will reveal the code to exit the hospital. The voice explains that they will be divided into two teams, and the first team to escape will win €1 million. The voice warns that once the game begins, nobody is allowed to leave, and offers anyone a chance to quit now. However, everyone chooses to stay. When the mysterious voice fades, the two nurses enter the room carrying handcuffs. Moments later, Lucas and Chloe wake up in separate rooms, each with one hand cuffed. Suddenly, the mysterious voice tells them they must find a way out and reunite with the others quickly. Lucas and Chloe begin searching for something to unlock their restraints. After some struggle, Lucas finds a key and manages to free himself. Chloe also finds a key, but it doesn't open her handcuffs or a locked drawer in her room. They soon realize they are in opposite rooms and communicate through a vent connecting them. Chloe tells Lucas about the key she found, and he instructs her to toss it through the vent. Lucas retrieves it and uses it to unlock the drawer in his room, where he finds another key and two metal door handles. Using one handle, Lucas escapes his room, then uses the other to reach Chloe's room and free her handcuffs. The locked drawer in her room also opens, and they recover a puzzle piece needed to exit. As they continue forward, they enter another puzzle room. A monitor flickers on, giving instructions that one of them must lie on a bed fitted with restraints. Chloe volunteers. After Chloe is restrained on the bed, a trap with a knife activates, descending slowly toward her as a timer begins to count down. Lucas tries to approach her, but the blade descends faster, forcing him to stop and search for clues instead. He finds a scattered puzzle on the wall and begins arranging it, which forms an image of a black swan. From her position, Chloe spots numbers on the picture and calls them out to him. Lucas enters the code, stopping the trap just before it kills her, and they retrieve a puzzle piece and leave the room. Meanwhile, after solving his own puzzle, Ray is seen wandering the hallway in search of the others. On their way, Lucas and Chloe run into Naomi and Jablonski, who have also completed their challenge. Since the next stage is in room 11, both pairs race there, but Naomi and Jablonski manage to get inside first, locking Lucas and Chloe outside. Just then, Lucas and Chloe hear piano music and follow the sound to another puzzle room. Inside, they find a man playing the piano and a bookshelf. Chloe also notices a locked drawer, and they begin searching the books for clues, and suddenly, the room catches fire. After several attempts, Lucas cracks the code, allowing Chloe to open the drawer, which contains more books leading to the next clue. They then notice that the piano player is gone, and Lucas realizes the piano is the key. He rushes to play it, and a hidden door unlocks. They retrieve another puzzle piece and escape just as the fire consumes the room. After catching their breath, Lucas and Chloe enter the autopsy room, another puzzle chamber. Inside, they find a clown doll holding cards and a keypad that requires a code to escape. While searching, Chloe notices bloodstains on a white cloth, and to their horror, they discover Maxine's body stuffed in a waste bin with a screwdriver in her neck. Suddenly, someone begins violently pounding on the door, trying to break in. Chloe rushes to hold the door shut while Lucas scrambles to figure out the code from the cards. After several failed attempts, he finally cracks it and shouts the code to Chloe. She quickly enters it into the keypad, unlocking the door. They escape the autopsy room and start running, but soon hear whispering nearby. In the chaos, they are separated when Lucas slips into another room and Chloe is locked out. As the whispers grow closer, Chloe desperately searches for another way inside, and Lucas is suddenly attacked from behind. Moments later, Lucas wakes to find himself strapped to an electrified chair. The mysterious voice speaks, explaining that he must answer a series of 11 questions. If he answers 5 correctly, he will be freed. However, each wrong answer will result in punishment, and the questioning begins. Lucas manages to answer 2 correctly, but every time he fails, he is electrocuted. When he gets the final question wrong, one of the nurses enters the room, preparing to finish him off on the voice's orders. At the last moment, Lucas breaks free from his restraints and electrocutes the nurse instead. He retrieves a puzzle piece and walks away, passing another nurse, though she does nothing to stop him. Meanwhile, Ray is seen running from someone chasing him. He ducks into a kitchen, arms himself with a knife and goes into hiding. The freezing cold forces him to light a gas stove for warmth, and suddenly, the pursuer appears and shoves Ray's face into the fire, killing him. Elsewhere, Chloe, who is now alone, hears strange whispering and hides inside a room. She grabs a lighter and crawls under a table, only to be startled by Lucas. Reunited, they talk and Lucas confronts her about why she never told him she had been admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Chloe explains she didn't want him to think she was crazy and reveals how she ended up there. In return, Chloe asks Lucas why he never told her about his mother's death, and Lucas reveals that when he was 16, his mother was killed by burglars. On the night it happened, he came home drunk from a party and could only hear her screaming for help, unable to save her. He blames himself for her death, but Chloe consoles him, and the two begin kissing. During the moment, Chloe accidentally injures her hand with a pin, and they discover a file on Naomi from her teenage years. Inside are a photo and documents showing she had been admitted to the hospital years ago and labeled a dangerous patient. Chloe deduces that Naomi must be behind Maxine's murder and the others, taking revenge for what she endured at the hospital. When they switch on the light, they are horrified to see Ray's dead body hanging on the wall, a screwdriver stabbed into his neck. Shaken, Lucas and Chloe leave the room and soon encounter Jablonski wandering the hall. They question him about Naomi, but he explains she ran off after they solved a puzzle together. Lucas then tells him what they discovered about Naomi and insists she is killing the other players. However, Jablonski, who blinded by his desire for the prize, refuses to believe them and storms off to continue the game on his own. From the picture, Lucas and Chloe notice a chapel inside the hospital and deduce it must be the final puzzle room. They pick up metal bars to use as weapons and head toward the chapel. On the way, they encounter Naomi, who blocks their path, insisting there is no way forward. However, Lucas tells her they only want to pass and mean no harm. Naomi questions why people have always been afraid of her, even when she was a teenager. Lucas notices something in her pocket and asks her to take it out. She pulls out a screwdriver, the same type used to kill Maxine and Ray, making them even more suspicious. Naomi insists someone planted it on her and explains that she also saw the bodies, trying to prove she isn't the killer. When Lucas tries to calm her, Naomi becomes agitated, swinging the screwdriver and warning them to stay back. She rants about the abuse she suffered from hospital workers when she was younger. To show they mean no harm, Lucas and Chloe put down their bars, and Lucas continues trying to calm her. However, when Chloe calls Naomi a psycho, and tries to make her feel guilty, Naomi suddenly stabs herself with the screwdriver, killing herself. On the way to the chapel, Lucas questions Chloe about interfering earlier, saying he had the situation under control. Chloe replies that if he truly believed he could have calmed Naomi down, he was being naive. As they continue searching for the chapel, Lucas somehow loses track of Chloe and begins looking for her. Meanwhile, Jablonski enters an operating room, which turns out to be another puzzle chamber, and he notices that every item in the room appears in sets of 3. While examining the area, he is suddenly stabbed with a syringe by the unknown assailant, causing him to lose consciousness. When Jablonski wakes, he finds himself restrained to a chair, with the assailant nearby. The figure hands him a pear and orders him to remove his own teeth, threatening to kill him if he refuses. Desperate to survive, Jablonski painfully begins pulling his teeth out, but in the end, the assailant kills him anyway. Elsewhere, Lucas finally finds the chapel, and while searching inside, he discovers Chloe, who is covered in blood. The blood isn't hers, it belongs to Jablonski, whose body is also in the chapel. Shocked, Lucas asks why she didn't call for help, but Chloe explains that before she could even scream, the assailant covered her mouth, and she suddenly found herself trapped inside with Jablonski. Now the only survivors, Lucas tells Chloe he knows a way out of the hospital and asks her to work with him. While examining some paintings, Chloe discovers a light switch and turns it on, revealing a ladder leading to the second floor of the chapel. She tells Lucas they are close to the end of the game. As they climb, Chloe suddenly pushes Lucas off halfway up and makes it to the second floor alone. She arranges the collected puzzle pieces, which form the image of a swan, and enters the code into the keypad, escaping the hospital. Lucas manages to climb up and also gets out of the hospital, and while searching for Chloe, he finds her badly injured. He desperately tries to stop her bleeding, but she eventually succumbs to her wounds, leaving him devastated. Fueled by grief, Lucas grabs a weapon and goes to look for the killer, who he suspects is nearby. He finally confronts him in the woods, revealed to be the same masked man he encountered at the start of the movie. A violent fight breaks out between Lucas and the masked killer. At first, the killer gains the upper hand, injuring Lucas, but Lucas turns the fight around and begins strangling him. When he forces the killer to remove his mask, he is horrified to see his own face staring back. Lucas realizes he is the one who organized the game, and it is revealed that Lucas is the murderer, a psychopath suffering from memory loss. Refusing to accept the truth, he strangles his other self to death. As Lucas wanders through the woods afterward, he experiences flashbacks of his past. He remembers how as a violent child, his mother was forced to lock him in the basement. As a teenager, he broke free from his restraints, grabbed a screwdriver, and confronted his mother in the living room, then killed her with it. In the present, the bodies of the dead players are shown scattered in the forest while Lucas screams for help. Moments later, police and ambulances arrive. Lucas is treated for his injuries, but when questioned by the police, he insists that the murderer escaped. The female officer instructs Lucas not to leave town, telling him he will be called in for further questioning, and as she walks away, Lucas begins to laugh. Back at his home, after taking a shower, Lucas heads down to the basement, where he keeps the preserved corpse of his mother, along with Chloe's body, and the movie concludes. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Play or Die from 2019. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.